ठंड लग रही है। येलो कार्ड मिला हुआ है, आईपैड नहीं मिल रहा। कल मिलेगा येलो कार्ड। आज तो मिलना चाहिए। नहीं दे रही यार। Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today's video is going to be really simple and classic. It's like a different story time about a certain instance that took place in my life in my last year of grade 12. That is, I got a yellow card along with two of my friends. It's a really long story. Okay, before I begin with the story time today, I have a news. I am going to upload little vlogs. Like, I am going to start vlogging, if you want to call it that, maybe, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to start vlogging soon because I have a lot coming up, and then I have college, and I have my interview tomorrow. So I'm going to start vlogging a lot of things because I don't really have time to just record story times, like sit with the whole setup and then record story times. Instead of that, I'm going to start vlogging as well. So I don't know, watch it if you like it, maybe, I guess. So today's video is about me getting a yellow card. So what exactly was a yellow card? A yellow card is basically like a probation that you get whenever you violate certain disciplinary rules in the school. So it was in my previous school, and I will not be naming the school because of certain reasons, because I haven't gotten my result and all yet, and I don't want to get into trouble. So the yellow card is basically nothing but it's the probation for 14 days. You do not get your phone, you do not get your iPad, laptops, whatever. You cannot go to the tuck shop in the school. You cannot participate in any activity. You cannot go for any outing or picnics or whatever, or wherever the school takes you during that 14 days. You have to stay back in school. You have to do community service. It's basically not that fun, but it's fine, I guess. I mean, it's just 2 weeks. That's what I thought. That's what we thought. It was just 2 weeks. So I'll tell you the entire story from the beginning. So we had this one pre-board exam going on in school, and we were all studying, and right before the exam, like 5 minutes before the exam, we were standing outside the exam hall and we were studying. So we had to enter through the washroom. Our entry to the examination hall is through a washroom, right? We were entering, and we left our books and our notes there. And I think 1 hour into the exam, the teacher, the invigilator, she comes with her books and notes in her hands, and there are my notes in it with my handwriting, and she's going to every table, every student, asking whose handwriting is this, and no one will speak. Obviously, no one will speak. And she came to me, and I was struck. I was like, what do I say? I was like, ma'am, I don't know. And I sat and I turned around and I looked at my friend, and her book was also there. And then she looked at me and we both were dead because her book had her name, but my notes didn't have my name. It was just my handwriting that was understandable. But then my handwriting in the exam is very different from my handwriting in the notes, and I don't really make a lot of notes. My handwriting just differs a lot because I just cannot be a typical person who has the same handwriting everywhere. My handwriting will differ on every single page that you see. It's kind of like that. So it was very weird because then I had to ultimately own up, because if we were all getting into trouble, we all thought that we should get into trouble together instead of just one person getting into trouble, because obviously all of our stuff was there. It was a moral thing here to think that okay, अगर वो भी पकड़ी गई है and मेरा भी सामान मिला है, even if my name is not there, I think it's better to just own it up rather than someone else getting caught, because my handwriting and one of my other friend are, both of our handwritings are the same, and that is one of the biggest issue. Ki she could have been in trouble instead of me, and I wouldn't have been okay with that, not at all. I cannot do that. I cannot let someone else take up my mistake, and I will be in a guilt trip all my life if I ever do that. So it was a no for me. I owned up. I told the teacher that it's my notes. And then our exam got over. We went back to our dorms. And then 2 hours later, we are called to the principal's office. Me and two other friends of mine. We are called to the principal's office. And we are struck. We are like, what to do? And then, okay, we go. We're made to sit outside her office for like an hour straight. We aren't told anything. We're just made to sit there. The principal comes out, she looks at us, and she always just kept on taunting me by my dad's name. Your dad called. I mean, okay, it's fine if my dad called. He's concerned for me. I think as a principal, you should be concerned as well that a parent is nice to you. I mean, it's just that you shouldn't be mean to a child if you have good communication with their parents. I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how she always behaved. I mean, never mind. Okay, moving on from that. Okay, so she called us in one by one. First of all, she called the first friend. It was her, I think, physics ka pre-board. So she called her in first. So she went 10 minutes. She was inside. We heard screamings, me and my other friend. So we were three friends, okay, D, G, and G. So I am G number two. So D went in first. 10 minutes, we heard screamings. She came out, she was sobbing, and we were like, we're gone. And then next, I was called in. I went in. I was made to write on a piece of paper, I am sorry for cheating in my accounts pre-board examination, which I did not. I really did not cheat in the exam. Anyways, we all were made to write on the paper, but one by one, right? So we were asked, and then the principal was like, "What do you do in the examination?" And there are no cameras in the examination hall. Okay, there are no cameras, and yet they're like, we have recordings, we have cameras of you talking to each other. Arey bhai, I know there are no cameras. First of all, second thing, I don't talk during exams because it's a serious thing. Because if you fail on your own basis, and you know that you need to work harder to pass in the next exam. Because obviously, why not? And then the third thing, she made us write on that piece of paper that I am sorry, I apologize for cheating in my exam, blah blah blah, and with the signature and with the date under it. And I was like, gone. First, I was so smiling because it was so funny to me. And then she started yelling at me. And whenever anyone raises their voice at me, I get very emotional very easily. And this is one of the issues or traits I have, I will say. So that just happened, and I started like not crying, like my eyes were full of water, and then I had this tissue in my hand, so I just put the tissue in to dry up the water so that I wouldn't cry. And then and then she started yelling at me more, and then I couldn't control it. I just started crying. It wasn't even anything that much, but it was just like I was feeling bad the way she was behaving with us, and I was already debashed because of something else that happened during the year. This was my second time I got into trouble in school. I think second time, third time. I think second time. I got into trouble at school in the same year. And then she threw me out. She was like, go to your dorm. I was like, okay, alright. So I went. And then goes in the third person, like G. Her name is also G. Let's call her G. So the G number two, she also went in, and we weren't allowed to wait. So me and G, we live in the same dorm, right? And we weren't allowed to wait for each other. And the principal was like yelling, like, go to your dorm. I was like, okay, ma'am, bye. And I went out of the school building. I waited 5 minutes. G didn't come out. I was like, she is crying. She is gone. I'll go up to the house. So I went up to my hostel house. We called our hostel houses because we had like three hostels, three houses. So calculated. So I went up to my house, and I was I didn't have my iPad. It was with one of my junior friend, and she was having it. And I didn't know that she had it. She had taken it the night before because I never submitted my iPad back to my warden. I mean house mother. So I thought that that junior might have submitted it to ma'am in like saying that ma'am Gauri has sent it, and I didn't know that she has not. So I go to ma'am and I ask him, ma'am, can I please get my iPad? And ma'am is like, no, you can't get it because I've gotten orders that you guys are getting yellow cards, so you can't get your iPads for the next 2 weeks. I was like, okay, ma'am. But I told her that, ma'am, I need to study also. She's like, doesn't matter, study from your books now. You messed up. And I was so pissed. And I go up to that junior's dorm telling her that what ma'am has done. And she's just looking at me. She hasn't said a word. She opens her drawer and she takes out my iPad. And I tell her, are you dumb? And she looks at me and she starts laughing. And I am laughing because of how hilarious the matter is. And then I take my iPad and I chup chap se go down and I tell ma'am, it was with my junior friend and I told her to give it to you, but she did not. And I'm so sorry, but here it is. And ma'am starts laughing. And then comes in G, and she's sobbing her eyes out. She's red everywhere, like gone case wala red. आंसू ऐसे नदियों की तरह बह रहे हैं. And I'm scared. I'm like, what happened? What did she say? What happened? And there was a whole committee sitting inside the principal's office those were questioning, like 7 people. I think 6 people were sitting. I'm not sure. Whatever. And it was so intimidating. It was just very intimidating. And then she comes and she's sobbing. And I ask her कि क्या हुआ बोलेगी, and she's just crying. And I tell her, listen, calm down. Let's text our parents. And I had my iPad for some time, so I was like, ma'am, can you just talk to my mom? And she's like, okay, talk. I took my iPad, I texted my mom first, and she's like, what happened? What happened? She gets scared. And then I FaceTime her, and I tell her, and she starts crying. मैंने कहा, Mama, it's not a big deal. It's fine. I did not cheat. It's fine. I did not cheat. Nothing happened. It's just a misunderstanding. But I can't really do anything about it. I'm just getting a yellow card. And she starts yelling at me. And I tell her, Mom, it's not a big deal. But then obviously it's parents. Okay, I know they have a lot of issues and they really expect a lot of things from us, but it's just happened. I don't know, it was just the way it was. And then whatever, so the next morning we three are called to principal office and we are spoken to again. And then I think an hour later, the main disciplinary committee head teacher, he comes to us and he hands us our yellow cards and tells us we have to go to the principal's office every day for straight 14 days, and the principal has to sign on the yellow card. For 14 days straight, we have to go to her office every day. Those 14 days that we had to go to her were so funny because she was laughing every time we went. Sometimes we went to her office, I think weird music was playing, or she was doing something weird, or I don't know. It was just something very, very funny every single time we went. And then when it was our last day, so no, not actually for okay, so I'll tell you. So it was, I think, second or third day, and before that we were very ashamed. We were like, "Or yeah, yellow card mil gaya, what to do?" Because a lot of people had it, and not kidding. It was like if you don't have a yellow card in school, it's like an Aadhaar card. Okay, almost every person had a yellow card. So whenever we used to go to the principal's office to get it signed during a break, we had a fruit break during 11 o'clock around. So we took out the yellow card and we used to wave it around and we used to laugh around and we used to walk through the entire corridor from the start to the end to principal's office. And all the classes were in the same corridor. It was like a very big corridor. And we used to walk, all three of us, full lehra lehra ke, कि let's go get it signed, la 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 la, हंस हंस के, and everyone was looking from their class ka windows, and everyone who looked at us, they were just laughing and they were like, these people are so okay with it. Because I'll tell you very honestly, we were very okay with it because it's very normal at this point that everyone had a yellow card. Anyways, that happened, and then at the last day we went to the coordinator who used to take care of the yellow card things, and we told her कि ma'am, can we please get the yellow cards when we leave school, we really want to take them home. And she looked at us and she was like, चश्मा नीचे करके, क्या करोगे तुम इनका? And I spoke, I don't know for what cracked in my mind. I spoke, ma'am, frame कराना है. And she just looked at me and she started laughing. She's like, yes, you will get it when you leave school in your entire file. So I have left school officially, but I haven't gotten my file yet because I didn't go for my graduation. So I will probably be going in June. If I get it, I'll feature it in one of my videos because it's so funny to look at. Oh, and I'll upload, I think, yeah, so there is this one picture of me and my friend with the yellow card here. Yeah, it looks very funny because we were so done with it at this point. It was like mugshot. It was like, it wasn't cool, but it was just very okay at this point. It was like Aadhaar card mila hai school se. Everyone had a yellow card, and हमसे पिछले वाला batch, the people who were there, I asked them, did they get the yellow cards? Like half of them just tore them and threw them. Some of them kept their yellow cards as a souvenir, and some of them framed it. Some of the people put it on their pin boards. I think I'll be a person who will probably frame it, or will just put it on the big frame thing here, because I don't know, it just is very funny to me at this point. I mean, that was one hell of a experience for me, and I think that is it for today. And let me know if you liked the video, I guess. And I'll be back with another video soon, and I am going to start vlogging soon. So I don't know, maybe stay tuned, keep watching, let me know if you like my vlogs or not. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.